Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Final Fantasy IV Free Enterprise League. Highway to the Zemus-Zone.
Highway to the
Zemus-Zone, Zemus-Zone.
Oh yeah.
I am AlexaLeFay, and I am joined here by the ever magnanimous Muppetsinspace. Muppets, What do you have to say for yourself?
I have to say that I am excited for this particular matchup. How about you, Alexa?
I'm super excited for this particular matchup. We've got a good mix here of things going on. Do you wanna introduce some of the runners?
That's right. We've got penguin8r in the upper left-hand corner, SwimmyLionni in the upper right-hand corner, Kirchin, lower left-hand corner, and Zman in the lower right-hand corner. And Kirchin and penguin8r's debut races right now. If I'm not mistaken, Zman and Swimmy have both raced one race beforehand. Zman netting a second place, and SwimmyLionni, the blue ribbon, first place.
Very exciting stuff. Very excited to see this matchup today. All of them are very talented racers, and it is delightful also to see Kane starting as our first character. Always a good thing to see. I'm always happy to see my main man Kane.
That's right. Versatile fighter, great for a run, can do all sorts of things. Jump out of the way of that Mega Nuke if he's fast enough.
Are you looking for crystals? Because he'll betray you for them.
He will definitely betray you for literally all of them.
Rosa.
That's not bad. Were you on the PSP remake?
The DS remake.
It was the DS remake. Okay. Yeah, I didn't play it.
Worth playing, I think. So we'll be getting started shortly. Of course, these are the League round of 32 flags. Anything important to note about those Muppetsinspace?
There are a couple of differences from the first that you saw. The Wyvern flag has been turned off, so Wyvern danger is a must to look out for. Also, we've got T2 or T3S2, which means that you're going to have one tier lower for all of the treasure chests that you open up, as well as all of the shops that you see. Oh, and it looks like we are starting. We're on our way.
Fantastic.
Let's see who we've got first. Paired up with Kane.
All right.
It's Porum. White Mage Hype and Golbez hands them the Sand Ruby.
Oh my, the Sand Ruby. Right off the bat, they get access to a third-party member at Kaipo if they choose to go for that. I have no doubt that we'll be seeing somebody amongst this four at least head for Kaipo. Also, that delicious one treasure chest there. Very important.
Right. Yeah, the sparseness of the items that you can get in all of the shops kind of require you to collect as many characters as you can to start out with, because your DPS, your damage per second, damage per move, is going to be significantly lower. You don't have access to all of the top tier J items, such as Stardust, Gaia Drums, and all of those other things that we learned to rely on so heavily in the League qualifiers.
And we see all of our runners practiced, heading the same route so far. Very interesting. Picking up some items from Baron Inn, peeping the character and the boss that are there. That was Dr. Lugay, and I didn't actually catch that.
I didn't catch it either. We're gonna see him. We're gonna see it coming back though.
100%.
100%. Yeah. Now you can already tell that people are looting Baron in a little bit of a different way. See that Kirchin actually went down and looked at the shop first, whereas penguin8r looted around and then went down to the shop to have more items to sell. In case you want to buy something, it looks like he's getting silk webs, Thor rages, and tents.
I'm a big fan of all of those items. Thor rages, lightning elemental damage, always useful against bosses like Kainazo and Odin. Tricky tricksters that they are. Silk webs, of course, casting maximum slow on all enemies. Very useful item to have, particularly during the Z fight, which we'll be getting to at some point today, I'm sure.
Z-Man's going to be the first one to pick up our third character, and it's Fusoya.
Ooh, wow. Uncle Mop right off the bat. What a generous seed. Golbez has clearly been influenced by his uncle.
So with the mop at your back, it opens up a lot more possibilities for damage. He begins with, what, 500 hit points? Yeah, 500 hit points and meager spells, Venom and Piggy, as a matter of fact. So not a whole lot of damage output right out of the gun. But for every boss that you beat, he gains 100 hit points and 3 spells. So look for our runners to very slowly but surely go after boss locations, easy boss locations, to level him up fast.
Don't call him Shirley. He's Fusoya. He's a moon man.
He is the lunar
ghost.
Oh. What?
What? No, nothing. And chat confirming, thank you very much, the Hangry Canuck, confirming that Yang was the character in Baron. Vanilla Yang.
Huge damage output for this seed right off the bat. Huge damage output.
Things are looking very bright and sunny for our runners. SwimmyLionni looting the Terraria first access treasure chest room, getting a smattering of nice items, at the very least to sell. penguin8r heading to Damcien, gonna loot some of the treasure down there. And Kirchin in Kaipo, buying some Cure 2s, gonna pick up their foo. Things are bright and sunny all around.
Z-Man is dipping the D-Mist's boss location right out of the gun, going after that first boss fight to get Fusoya some much-needed hit points and spells. Hopefully, something comes of this that's worthwhile. Maybe a level 2 elemental spell, a virus if you're lucky.
And we see Rubicante.
Rubicante.
Oh, excuse me, Rubicant.
Oh,
and we see penguin8r heading to Mount Hobbs, gonna peep the character up there, take out a boss perhaps.
So this D-Mist spot only has 450 or I think 475 hit points, something like that. So it's gonna take 2 cane jumps to take him down, and he's down.
Rubicant is down.
Rubicant is down, and look, Fire 2 and Slow.
Quite useful spells indeed. Troubles. Meanwhile, over on penguin8r's screen, we see Rosa gated by the Antlion. Not a terrible place to find the Antlion, who can pack quite a punch in some of the harder boss spots. Meanwhile, we have Kirchin dipping into Antlion, our first runner to head there, getting some treasure, running into some dark matter. Clearly, Zemus has been here before.
Clearly. He wreaks havoc not just on your lives, but also your inventories.
That was perfect, Muppets. I couldn't have said that better myself. Oh, man. You're just crushing it. You're crushing it. This is just honor.
Prescient? How do you say that word?
Prestidigitation, I believe it was.
Well done.
A Zeus Rage and a whistle coming out of Damcien Treasure Room Floor 1. I really like the whistles. They sell for quite a bit of GP. Very useful early on.
Look at penguin8r up there. Did Mount Hobbs got Rosa? So we've got 2 white mages, 2 fighters, and Fu readily available right at the top of this seed. What does that make you feel like, Alexa?
It makes me feel like this is going to come down to strategic execution as opposed to random happenstance.
Indeed.
It also makes me feel strange, like there are butterflies in my left pectoral muscle.
Just the left one?
Just the left one. That's where the heart is.
That would make me feel strange too. We see Z-Man going up to Troya, finding life potions in one of the in one of the shops. Life potions, of course, being some of the most important things that you will get in these flags.
Absolutely. They are almost required, I would say. Meanwhile, we're seeing Kirchin encountering the boss at the bottom of the Antlion's den, and it is Octomam. Not a bad spot to find Octomam as well. She could pack quite the punch later on in the game. And we'll be seeing which key item is hidden down there or a higher level treasure. Because we are on K2. Muppets, what does K2 mean?
So K2 is, that's going to be your key item flag. And K1, your basic key item flag, randomizes all of the key items in their normal locations. So Say you would get the sand ruby from the antlion spot here. Well, you could get a different key item in that spot, but it's only limited to the places that you would normally get key items. With K2, that expands the locations that you could possibly get key items to other locations, such as treasure at the end of summon monster battles, as well as the lunar bosses.
Thanks for that lovely explanation. Meanwhile, we see a little bit of divergence from penguin8r, heading straight to Fabul and encountering the Mist Dragon up there. That is significant.
Good old Derek.
Good old Derek Mist was hiding out. We're seeing the first 3 bosses slightly shuffled. I wonder if we'll be seeing Mom Bomb up on Mount Ordeals with this slight randomization. Meanwhile, Kirchin found the Earth Crystal down in the Antlion Cave, rewarded with the potential to head up the Tower of Zot and get 2 party members and a chance at a key item. Muppets, why is Derek significant to see?
Well, Derek D-Mist, Derek we call him, is pretty significant because in the no free lunch flag...
Oh my gosh.
You would normally see a key item from Bedward in Toria Castle. Toria Castle. I can never say that right. But because the no free lunch flag is on, you don't normally get that from that location. So instead, the key item that would normally be in that location is relegated to Rydia's deceased mother in the town of Summoners. And that location opens up when you defeat the Mist Dragon. And that is not the Mist Dragon location, but the Mist Dragon boss himself.
An excellent explanation, my friend. Meanwhile, penguin8r getting the magma key, opening up access to the underworld, rewarded for his dip into Fabul. He might just not go back to Antlion Cave, depending on where the magma key takes him.
That's true. We've got early Earth Crystal, early magma key, D-Mist at Fabul. This seed is going to be a high key items per hour seed right here. This has a chance to be a very big jet seed.
Absolutely agreed. The KPH is going to be off the charts, my friend, off the charts.
I like that.
Oh, and we had a chat question from a relative newcomer. Nitsguy1 asks, "Excuse me, commentary. I'm new. Why is Kirchin's color different versus everyone else's?" It appears that Kirchin just enjoys having their window that color.
Huh?
That's my suspicion.
Absolutely, just went into the custom menu and changed the window.
Absolutely,
probably did it for memes.
Yeah, absolutely worth the 5 or so seconds that it took.
Mm-hmm.
I for one support memes. I'm from the meme party, of course.
Speaking of Kirchin found an elven bow. Elven bow is an interesting bow because in addition to being a source of decent damage output for Rosa, it also adds a sneaky little +5 to willpower, which increases Rosa's curing. So that's a big item in these flags, and you're going to see that come out a lot more in these later flags.
And if I'm not mistaken, the Elven Bow also will deal quadruple damage against mage-type enemies, such as the Mage's Sisters or Azura.
I actually didn't know that.
Nice. I love learning. Every day I find something new out about this game. And I've been playing this game for almost 30 years. And it's just amazing that the randomizer and the community, we all just love learning and teaching each other about this game and discovering new things.
It really breathes new life into an old game. And in the Mist of Life, speaking of the Mist of Life, we have Zman defeating Derek Mist down in the lower right-hand corner.
And penguin8r picking up his Earth Crystal with SwimmyLionni not far behind. Kirchin encountering the Derek Mist of the Seed. Gonna get rewarded with that Magma Key. And Z-Man picking up that Magma Key forthwith.
It'll be interesting to see if anyone does ordeals in this seed. The only impetus to do that would be to get more boss battles for Fusoya, to level him up. Could be a time sink, but it could also pay off depending on which spells Fusoya already knows before they head on to make that decision. So we'll see if there's any divergence there. And it's a Gungeoner Spear as the reward from Rydia's deceased mother.
Excuse me, what was that? Can you say
A
the name of the
Gungeoner
spear
spear.
again? Gungeoner.
Yeah, Gungeoner.
I always interpreted it as Gungnir.
You know, I hear people say that all the time, and I just sort of assume I'm wrong because I'm the only person I know who says Gungeoner.
I think that means that you learned the word from reading it.
I certainly did.
And anyone... Absolutely, yes. Odin can drop that spear in that game, and you also find it in the Nasty Dungeon, if I'm recalling correctly. But we're not here to talk about Final Fantasy Legend 2. We're here to talk about good old American Final Fantasy 2. America.
Swimmy's gonna go up there, fight the Antlion spot with Octomam, and Penguin8r's gonna go loot Toria Castle. See what they can see. Now fortified with an Earth Crystal, gonna get a lot more bang for your buck out of this visit.
Absolutely. Gonna get access to that secret treasure trove. The second treasure trove with, like, I don't know, it's like 24 chests. There's a lot of chests in there.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it is 24.
Wow, I really just pulled that number out of my my bag of memes.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I mean, let's count. Penguin8r's about to go up there. Let's see. Just whatever row times 2. I'm actually kind of on the edge of my seat right now because I think you're right.
As this could be, if I'm right, this could be the most stunning play that Final Fantasy IV has ever seen. No, it's not. There's no way that 12.
6, 7, 8. Oh, it's 18. It's 18.
Really? I thought it was 20.
2 rows of 9?
Seeing 2 rows of 10. Right? No? 18. Right.
Whatever, it's a lot of them.
That said, six away is good enough for me. You know, I always say six is sevens and sevens is eights. Anyways, Penguin8r looting the Terrorian item shops, gonna get rewarded with some life potions, excuse me. And Kirchin making a quick dive into Silvera, picking up the 3 treasure chests in there, with Z-Man following not too far behind.
So right now we're seeing everyone in a little bit of shopping, a little bit of selling. It's inventory maintenance time before the next decision is being made. What do you think is going to happen down in Kirchin's stream right here?
It does look as though Kirchin is going to open up the underworld. I imagine that they're going to head straight for that Land of Summon Monsters item shop and key item, or perhaps to the Sylph Cave to do a little single dip, pay a visit to Yang the Man, having his little fairy visit.
Opens up the item shop there, finds Hourglass 2s, goes ahead and buys 7 of those for
Very
dropping that
useful
magma
items.
key down.
I don't know what throwing a key down a well is going to do, but seems like a awful waste of key item.
I always pictured it as just one large stick of dynamite with like a little key on the end of it.
In future versions of the game, they picture it as like a stone. It's like a magical stone that they hawk in there, and it like causes an earthquake.
The more you know.
Now, Penguin8r is doing something very interesting over there with that dwarf axe on Kane. Did you catch that, Muppets?
I did catch that. What was that exactly?
So the dwarf axe is a back row weapon, meaning that it can deal full damage from the back row. And there is a tactic, a glitch, if you will, in this game that is called the back row glitch. That can be executed in a couple of different ways, but one of them is just simply heading into the menu, equipping a back row item like the dwarf axe onto your character, and then removing it. And then for the rest of the game, your character permanently can do full damage with any weapon from the back row.
All you have to do is equip it and then unequip it?
That's all you have to do. It's like stealing crystals from a Golbez.
Oh, we have Calbrena in the karate at Baron Inn fight.
That's actually quite fortunate here, particularly with some of the items that they picked up.
Mm-hmm.
That split damage is really going to make the... Sorry?
It's going to drop down an hourglass right away with Kane.
The cows in the back row there are vulnerable to stop.
Mm-hmm.
Take that, Cal.
This is particularly fortunate because the 4,000 hit points that Yang has in that slot is divided amongst all 6 of those targets right there. You stop in half of them. Damage output that you need to do into the front ones is, I think, 20% or something like that. So not a whole lot. And then you can just roast the back row at your leisure without worrying about big diaper doll.
Speaking of roasting, we definitely saw a lovely little fire 2 from Fusoya.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, and I think I saw Fusoya unlock Lit 3, a 3rd level elemental spell that could come into play.
Absolutely, and the reward is Yang and Tower Key. So we have value going into the underground at this juncture.
I wouldn't be surprised if we see folks who've done Baron immediately head to the tower upon entering the underground.
Yeah, we've got a lot of different paths open to us at this point. Earth Crystal is a complete divergence from everything else. 2 characters and a key item with 2 bosses. And then you can go all the way down to the underground, and there is a smorgasbord of things that you can accomplish down there.
penguin8r heading into Mysidia, going to check the item shops. Hopefully we'll be rewarded for this dip.
Z-Man is going to the Octomam spot.
No doubt trying to power up that Fusoya CPU. Let's see if he decides to engage.
It looked like a little bit of a hesitation there. Didn't quite know what to do with Fu.
Oh, and that was lovely, lovely chance up there on SwimmyLionni's screen. Dropping a Grimoire and rolling Odin against the Calcabrinas. Just crushing them with the Zantetsuken.
Zantetsuken?
That's what it's called in Final Fantasy VI or something like that. Oh. It's like the Odin attack or whatever.
Right.
Or like one of the Final Fantasy games. I said it and I was like, it's not called that in this game. Alexa, what are you doing? What are you doing?
I don't know. It sounded cool.
It does sound cool, doesn't it?
Zantetsuken.
Zanzibar. Is that
Zanzibar?
Is that what it's called?
Are you hungry?
I could use a snack.
So it looks like everyone's done the Baron infight at this point, except Swimmy. Oh, no, Z-Man hasn't done it either. There's no Yang in his party.
It does look like we're gonna take our first look at the underground.
penguin8r's gonna dip down right away. It's gonna go down. It's gonna take a stop at the Dwarf Castle. Now, this is an interesting play because there are 2 boss battles and 1 key item here. When there is a free key item in the Land of Summoned Monsters all the way to the right-hand side, as well as a free walk to talk to Yang in the Sylvan Cave. Opens up the item shop, sees coffins.
Gonna pick up a few of those coffins and a few of those illusions. Coffins casting the instant death spell on an enemy, and illusions casting blink on one of your party members. Both very useful items. Picking up some useful equipment.
Very expensive equipment, too. That Dragoon helm is actually worth an awful lot of GP.
And GP is hard to come by.
He's thinking about it, and there it goes. Yep. 20K, can't say no.
I'm not going to turn my nose up at that.
And penguin8r's going to continue looting here. Going to go up to the side towers here. This is a little bit of an odd play. It's a bit of a time sink sometimes. You see cloth, spear, leather armor, diamond armor.
Shadow, diamond armor. Diamond armor sells for a good bit. Checking in with some of our other runners, SwimmyLionni heading up the Tower of Zot, the first of our runners to do so. And it looks like Kirchin may be not too far behind.
So we see our first divergence in paths right there. penguin8r down in the underground, Swimmy going after the Earth Crystal spot and those bosses in the Zot Tower. Z-Man's wrapped up the CPU fight down in the Octomam spot, has a plethora of options.
Let's see where he goes next. Meanwhile, Kirchin headed down to the Mist fight, looking to power up their Fu. Finds Rubicon. Do you think that Rubicon is like a philosopher?
No, but Rubicant is.
Oh my.
Aha.
I like Rubicante. I like saying the names as they are.
It just makes me hungry when you say Rubicante.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, I want salsa.
What? What am I missing here?
It's like picante.
Oh, picante. There you
Yeah,
go.
yeah.
Well, he is rather spicy, especially when that leg comes out. Ooh.
So up in Swimmy's stream over there, we see in the Maga Sister spot the karate fight.
Devastating yang-on-yang violence.
Easy and a little hard depending. But Fusoya's got lit 3, and that's going to take care of a good majority of the damage output required.
That karate is about to get lit AF, folks.
See what that kick ends up doing from karate. Not a whole lot. This is actually going to be a relatively easy fight.
And we see Kirchin in the underground, gonna dip that Land of Summon Monster spot right away. Opening some boxes down here. That is kind of an interesting move here, because one of the chests is trapped. And has some rather high HP, annoying monsters in it.
Yeah, the 5 warrior fight. And each of those 5 warriors can hit you for upwards of 1k damage if you're not defending. If you don't have the proper defense for it.
Meanwhile, Swimmy taking out the karate, and penguin8r heading straight into the Land of Summon Monsters, skipping the treasure chest in the upper levels. No doubt looking to avoid that warrior fight. And Zman taking on the Calcabrinas.
We see penguin8r having a little bit of inventory management issues up there. Having to go into that what do I throw away screen. Starting to see the cumulative effect of all of this looting with no selling.
Some highfalutin looting, if you ask me.
I really liked that.
Thank
well
you.
done.
Thank you. It's just, it makes me smile to make you smile.
Oh, now Kirchin just opened up a treasure chest in the Land of Summon Monsters and found that 5 warrior fight. Hourglass.
Not a bad move. Let's hope that these warriors don't have more attacks queued up, and it looks like they don't. Lit 3 coming out. Gonna no doubt use some of those life potions. And Hourglass 2 should be more than sufficient to take them out. And we're seeing some life potions going off on enemies? What's going on over there?
Well, the life potions are coded kind of funny in this game. Whenever a life potion is used on one of your party members, it revives you with an amount of hit points equal to your vitality times, I think it's 8 or something like that. Your vitality score. Well, it works the same on enemies in this game, except for the problem is that every enemy in this game is coded to have a vitality of 0. So anything times 0 is 0. It revives the enemy with 0 hit points. And then it counts as a free kill.
A lovely explanation. And it looks like Kirchin is going to be getting a ton of experience points from this. No doubt looking to life up some of their characters now. Meanwhile, penguin8r going to dip the library in the Summon Monsters.
Ooh.
I'm going to see some of those bosses over there. Ooh. Oh my. And we see a free fight with the King and Queen of Ablan in the Azura spot.
SwimmyLionni up in the upper right-hand corner is fighting Mom Bomb in the Valvalis spot.
There's that somewhat early Mom Bomb.
Somewhat. It's not going to be that tough of a fight. The explosion is what you really have to worry about, which is a fire elemental attack that's, I think, 24 times your magic power or something like that. Does about 390, which rips Porum, but enough hit points to survive that, so he's going to be A-okay. penguin8r taking the free fight in the upper left-hand corner with the King-Queen Ablan. Is that in the Ashura spot? Is that what you said?
That's what it looks like, my friend. That's what it looks like. Why is this fight free?
Well, because this is a no free lunch 1 flag, which means that all of the boss AI still goes off in the same way, which includes the scripted parts of it. In vanilla, King Queen Ablan, they take 3 turns each, and then, as we can see right now, they become conscious. They talk to Edge for a little bit and then fade away, and that's just part of the script. So all you have to do is just sit there and watch them throw meager Fire 2, Fire 1 spells at you, and then they just go away.
I always thought that the Queen of Ablan looks really cool. Like, I know that she's like an abomination and it's horrible and Edge is really sad, but like also it just looks really cool to me.
Yeah, kind of like a snake woman.
Like a weird snake bat.
Mm-hmm.
There's not quite a lot of snake women in this game.
We get a defense sword for our troubles, which is actually pretty cool for Kane.
Absolutely. A lovely, lovely weapon. Particularly in these flags where higher powered weapons are not always guaranteed.
Higher power weapons as well as a little bit of defense. So you keep them in the back row, can sustain hits from most enemies.
And we see the Avenger over in SwimmyLionni's screen as the reward for the Tower of Zot. That is just the opposite end of the spectrum for Kane. The Avenger Sword, of course, casts automatically has Berserk status on whoever is wielding it. And the Berserk status, of course, one of my favorite spells in the game, the statuses, makes your character go about 1.5 times as fast and do about 1.5 times as much damage.
Plus, you don't have to input commands, so really it's twice as fast.
It's really quite delightful.
Mm-hmm.
Swimmy opening up the underground with Z-Man, heading into the land of summon monsters, and Kirchin also taking that free King and Queen of Ablan fight. Penguin8r doing some more shopping, looking to sell a few things and pick up some Star Veils. Star Veils are a lovely item, casting Reflect on your party, or excuse me, on one of your party members.
Swimmy taking that early Zot might actually put him over the top for a lot of things. That Avenger Sword can really save your bacon in a couple of spots.
And it can also potentially make your life a little more complicated if you find somebody like Derek, for instance, in a higher level boss spot. But we've already seen him, so I think we'll be okay. The rat tail chest item, by the way, was the Luca key. A interesting thing to find in the underground for sure.
Ooh, up in Swimmy's stream, we see Bacchus wines in the item shop in the Dwarf Town.
Bacchus wines
are not very commonly found in these flags. It's about a half and half chance, so it's gonna grab 10 of those and mosey along.
Always delightful to see Bacchus wines.
Kirchin is going to do the Dark Elf fight in the Leviathan spot.
I wonder if maybe his Fusoya has weak. It's possible that no free lunch level 1 enables this boss to be cheesed just a tiny bit. I didn't see a weak spell in there, though, for Fusoya, so this could be quite a tricky fight. Looks like Dark Elf is also pretty fast.
Kirchin takes the reset, decides, no thank you, I'm out.
Unsurprising. I would have done absolutely the same thing in that situation.
Well, it actually looks like Kirchin's going to take it round 2.
Oh, interesting.
Just lowers the battle speed just a little bit so it can give him some more time for inputs, and then just goes after it again. An
interesting play here, and it could pay off for him. Meanwhile, we see Penguin8r in the top left, heading up the Tower of Babel. Gonna levy that tower key and full clear the tower. Take out a couple of bosses.
Z-Man just talked to Sheila over in Fabul after talking to Yang in the underground and was rewarded with a vanilla pan.
Sheila, please. Ooh, and Penguin8r finding Azura in Super Cannon Dark Imp's spot, taking her down with a deft arrow shot, unlocking a few more spells for Fusoya.
Meanwhile, Kirchin's taking that Dark Elf fight 500 hit points at a time. He's going to throw down that Berserk spell. Can't quite target Yang. Reason being is Yang has Piggy status. When you've got any status, it tends to override the status that you're trying to put on yourself. So say you've got Mute, Piggy, Poison, something like that. It's very hard to add Berserk status to that. The game just says, nope, you only get one.
Meanwhile, Z-Man looking to head up the Tower of Zot, perhaps. Definitely taking some of those treasure chests in the Tower of Zot. And penguin8r about to encounter Bahamut in the Dr. Luge spot.
Ugh.
Gonna definitely enjoy those star veils that he picked up in the Land of Summon Monsters. I saw that he has 16 of them in his inventory, and he's gonna need them for this fight.
Yeah, always a good investment. I believe this fight has about 20,000 hit points, something like that.
Quite a lot, because it's split up from the two different Dr. Luge fights.
That's right.
Now you kids better go take your star veils.
Well, they're going to take their Star Veil medicine, throw up those walls, but with this damage output that penguin8r's doing, it may not need those Star Veils, actually. It's cranking out about 4k damage per shot with Fu.
Absolutely.
Doing about 2,000 with Rosa, I saw.
The lit AF Fusoya is definitely coming in handy over here. Coming in handy indeed, my friends. SwimmyLionni taking on the Fabul, or excuse me, the King and Queen of Fabul. Oh, there it is.
Oh, Fusoya just dodged it outright. There was no wall. He just dodged
boss. Wow, Fusoya. What a delightful man. A magical moon man.
Fusoya, never leave the moon without him. Yeah, looks like you're right. Z-Man is diving Zot right now. Gonna go after those characters and is actually looting Zot too, which is an interesting play because there is a trapped chest in Zot with a flame dog encounter. And trapped chests have a pretty good chance of getting you a top tier item.
penguin8r getting rewarded for his Bahamut troubles with a glass helm. Not entirely useless. It can be sold for quite a lot of money and has perfect physical defense. No magic defense, however, so it's unlikely that we'll see Penguin use that item. I didn't actually see who the characters on top of Zot were, but it does look like Swimmy did not pick any of them up, so I wonder if it was our friend the Bard.
Yeah, it could be Edward Rydia or something like that.
I could see that.
We're gonna find out. We got a me change down in Kirchin stream.
He changed indeed, my friend. He changed indeed.
Oh, Food takes 1352 to the face and goes down right away.
That dragon hits like a truck. He is, however, vulnerable to stop.
And there it is. Ding. And Dark Elf is stopped for good. Now the Kirchin, this fight is his. He may revive or destroy him at his leisure. Meanwhile, penguin8r up in the upper left-hand corner is falling down the Tower of Babel. It's going to be rewarded with the Tower Key treasure, which is...
Ooh, it's the Darkness Crystal. One half of our puzzle tonight.
My goodness.
And
which opens
penguin8r
up moon access.
Looks like penguin8r at the very least is looking for that moon character and takes a quick look at his levels, maybe heading straight to the moon to see what awaits him there.
penguin8r's in a pretty good spot right now with 6 key items. You're a little low on key itemage for that, but the levels are pretty solid. The characters are good going into that. You may actually see penguin8r go all in on going lunar.
I wouldn't be surprised to see that at all, my friend. Wouldn't be surprised to see that at all.
We have a dwarf castle battle going on in SwimmyLionni's stream over there.
Ooh.
I don't think we've seen this one. It is a lunar boss.
Oh my. They have bosses on the moon?
Yeah, they have 5 of them. This is crazy. We're seeing 4 completely different paths right now.
It's quite delightful. And we see the D-Lunars, not a terrible spot to encounter them, particularly with Moon Uncle on your side.
I wonder what he's looking for right now.
I wonder if he's looking for Cure 3s.
Looks like Zeus Rages.
Now, it does look like Swimmy's trying to avoid attacking the D-Lunars. Why is that, Muppets?
Well, because the D-Lunars have a strange AI. If you use items, use spells, or use any sort of abilities like jump or aim or anything like that, You can deal damage just fine to them, but if you ever use fight command against them, they have a script where they put up a wall and start bouncing viruses off of the wall onto you. And it is nasty, and they speed up big time.
They can be super scary when they pull that off. That's
really super scary right now. That D-Lunar is going awful fast, and those fire counters are nasty.
Absolutely.
Ooh, 1240
nasty.
takes him down. It's not out of the woods yet. There is a second boss battle after this one.
Ooh, and Penguin8r seeing Cure 3s in the Hummingway Cave item shop. And
Must be nice.
Kirchin taking down the Dark Elf.
Gets a white spear for it.
Not entirely worthless, that white spear. One of Kane's ultimate weapon, in fact.
Up in
with
Swimmy stream, we had Kidia, Little Rydia, as the reward for the character in Dwarf Castle. Dismisses her outright. And we've got
I would do the same
Pale
thing.
Dim.
Favorite character. I would totally just throw her like the garbage she is. And we see on the moon, we have the kid himself, Palom, hiding out on the moon, pretending to be Fusoya. He does want to be a sage, after all.
He does want to be a sage, and I think he can do it, but... Oh, wow.
Oh, dismissing Yang, an interesting play indeed. Looking for that extra black magic output, no doubt, during some of these boss fights. Heading back to the Lunar Whale, gonna head back to Earth with that character.
Well, I'm gonna have to ask Penguin8r about this play.
Absolutely. Meanwhile, we see Z-Man taking on Mom Bomb. Gonna get rewarded with the Avenger Sword after he takes him down. And we see the floating hand of Pale Dim. Stealing crystals. What is going on here? I thought this was Final Fantasy IV. And
all right, let's see what the reward is.
the Dwarf Castle treasure is the Legend Sword.
Not bad. Not bad. It's a key item.
Key item. Yeah. And Penguin8r heading into the Dwarf Castle. Gonna fight, what was that? D-Lunar and Pale Dim. Get rewarded with that 7th key item.
He's in a bit of a better spot to fight that than Swimmy was. A little higher levels, a little more spells on Fusoya.
And the opportunity to get quite a bit of experience for his Palom. I wouldn't be surprised if he clears out this location and then perhaps decides to head back to the moon.
Could very well do that. Could very well do that. There's 20k experience for both of these fights, so 40k total, which will be more than enough to get Palom Quake, which is really the spell that you want Palom for. So that is a viable play. Also has Luca Key. Everybody has Luca Key, and nobody's dipped the sealed cave yet, so that's also a play.
That evil wall boss spot can be pretty nasty with 19,000 hit points, if I recall correctly, and some decent speed as well. We see Kirchin in the bottom left, taking on Bahamut. Throwing star veils like it's nobody's business. Oh, look at these good little kids.
They're just taking their medicine.
Taking their star medicine. Brought to them from Moon Dad.
You gotta avoid the Mega Flare. You have to take a star veil to avoid the Mega Flare.
Just a spoonful of star veil makes the Mega Flares go down.
Oh, it works way better than I thought it would.
It really did. I started it, and then I was like, oh, it's going to work out.
It's so good.
Penguin8r making short work.
Lunar's really, really fast with that Fire 3 spell.
And Swimmy heading up the Tower of Babel, taking care of Azura.
Whoa!
Oh, interesting indeed. Penguin8r getting rid of Porum for Kidia. Excuse me, Adult Rydia.
Takes Rydia. I have to write this down.
Yeah. And also that Rydia taking quite a nap.
Yeah, rip Rydia.
Did Penguin8r perhaps pick up some sort of summon that we didn't see, or
I
does
don't
he have
think
Bahamut
so.
or Leviathan in his inventory?
I don't think so, but it might be that penguin8r is setting up for a different style of Zeromus fight in the end, going for reflect strats, which is a little bit different, using spells. When you use spells on Zeromus directly, it triggers a nuke counter, but if you reflect...
That sounds terrifying.
Yeah, it's really horrible. It does about 2k damage to a single target, but if you bounce a spell off of a wall onto Zeromus, for some reason, that redirection does not trigger the nuke counter, and so you can just cast spells bouncing them off of walls on your party members all day, every day, and you won't net yourself a counter.
Another reason to take your spoonful of star veils.
Absolutely.
In the most delightful way.
So we've got penguin8r going up to what appears to be the Sylvan Cave. Does penguin8r have the pan?
No, he does not. If I recall correctly, the pan was the
it's vanilla. Yeah, it's vanilla. Z-Man's the only one with the pan right now.
It's not chocolate. It's certainly not strawberry.
it's French vanilla, maybe.
Chat bringing up an interesting point. Maybe penguin8r's just being sneaky, thinking my opponents might not be taking Rydia.
Maybe. We'll ask penguin8r what his thoughts were going into those decisions. I've got them written down. It's something for an interview afterwards.
Oh, thank you for doing that. I also note that penguin8r is the only one to have the Darkness Crystal so far. It looks like Swimmy will be picking it up soon.
Now that's interesting. penguin8r was thinking about leaving the underground, decided to go back down to Dwarf Town, and probably going to grab some more Bacchus wine.
You can't just call it Dwarf Town. They're offended. Okay.
I always forget what it's called.
It's called Tomra.
I always forget. I'm never going to remember that. I guarantee you.
It's fine. I don't.
So penguin8r is equipping Rydia with a dragon whip and a black belt. No doubt looking to deal some physical damage with that. Dragon whip also, in addition, adds speed.
Kirchin picking up the Darkness Crystal out of the Tower of Babel and heading straight to Mysidia, no doubt looking to see who that character is and maybe take on some moon bosses. Just took a peek at Kirchin's levels. His Kane is level 31. Not bad levels to start doing some moon. Pretty beefy indeed. And 6 key items. Not a bad start.
Z-Man's got a darn near full-powered Fu. Definitely has nuke on Fu, which is going to make his life a lot easier.
Absolutely. He's going to tear through these Babel fights.
And Swimmy's about to fall down the Tower of Babel.
Better than falling down a deep ravine.
Is it, though?
I mean, as long as your friends are there to pick you up in the Enterprise.
Yeah. Potato, tomato.
Free Enterprise.
It's
the name of the game!
He said it. She said it. What?
Nice catch. What?
Yeah.
What?
And there's the Darkness Crystal for Swimmy. And now what?
And now Swimmy takes a second to think about it, is wondering about Sylph.
Going down to the land of summoned monsters, there is one boss battle that was not done by Swimmy. The Dark Elf spot. Maybe thinking it's going to get something out of that? And Kirchin, down in the lower left-hand corner, is ready to hit the moon, go into the Crystal Castle.
Now, I didn't catch that. Did Kirchin head into the Hummingway Cave?
I didn't see Kirchin go into the Hummingway Cave, no.
I didn't think I did either. There are Cure 3s in that item shop.
There sure are. Sure are. No doubt looking for the character first.
Absolutely.
Sees Palom. See what Kirchin does here. I'd be surprised for another.
The kid of Mysidia. penguin8r picking up that pan.
Oh, wow. Dismisses Porum for Palom.
Interesting. Twin favoritism. You would have thought they were the same.
Sorry, just writing that down. Takes Palom over Porum, and then, no holds barred going right to the lunar subterrane. So this is our first peek in the lunar subterrane, guys.
Very interesting indeed. I wonder if Kirchin's going to head straight for that D-lunar spot or another one. It does look like we're seeing a dive immediately down into the deep, deep, dark depths of the lunar subterranean.
That was darn near Shatner-esque. Well done.
Thank you, my friend. I've been practicing.
Yes. You don't need
although
practice.
I do like Data a little bit more.
Oh,
than,
how could you not? He's
Shatner,
so good. Brent
Shatner.
Spinner's amazing.
Oh, he's so good.
Yeah.
Oh man, especially when he's like kind of crazy or like doing an alternative character. Penguin8r heading into the Sylvan Cave and bopping Yang on the head with that pan. Our first runner to see what that second Sheila item is. Sheila, are you gonna give us the crystal? Maybe. We'll be seeing in just a few seconds, folks.
Let's see what Kirchin does here. There is another lunar boss location aside from the two next to the save point. That's where the vanilla wyvern spot is. Nope, going right at the fork. Does going to the percentage play with the 3 key items on 2 bosses.
Plus that D-lunar spot has... Whoa! Penguin8r getting rewarded with the crystal for the pan. Sheila once again hiding gold.
Oh,
Penguin8r is now in go mode.
Penguin8r has a huge advantage on everybody else.
The only other runner to have dived Sylph is Z-Man, who is finishing up his Tower of Babel. Might end up taking that pan to Sheila. Who knows?
It could be a logical move here. Could be a logical move. We'll see. Penguin8r's situating. Doing a little menu management right here.
Spell management, menu management, healing, lifing. Gonna take out the Octoman spot boss, no doubt to power up his foo a little bit more. And Kirchin taking a quick reset. Slowing down the battle speed. And gonna take on the Plague spot boss.
Oh, that's a terrible location for them.
I don't like them. They're bad. Ooh, but we do have a Rune Axe in the inventory, and yup, going straight on Kane.
Oh, yeah.
The Rune Axe does quadruple damage to mage-type enemies. And Penguin8r quaking it up, taking out the CPUs with one fell swoop. Powering up that Fuso Ya. And Z-Man getting bit by the Darkness Crystal Bug. Is he going to go straight to the moon? He's thinking about it. And we see Swimming diving the sealed cave with the Luca key. Our first runner to do so. Now, we know that the crystal is not in there. Commentator's advantage, of course. But there could be something interesting down there. That's for true.
Perhaps there's going to be some progression that will lead Kirchin back to Earth and maybe inevitably to make the right play. But right now, Kirchin's on a 18 of 18 trajectory, which does not bode well, given that Penguin8r is currently in go mode.
And Z-Man is not far behind, about to bop Yang on the head with that pan and get rewarded with a crystal for his trouble. Poor Yang.
Now, this is interesting because while Penguin8r is currently trying to power up Fu, Z-Man actually has a pretty well-powered Fusoya, so Z-Man's not going to have to take any of the boss battles. Ended up taking those battles in the beginning of this steed at the D-Mist and Octoman locations.
Ooh, and we see Penguin8r heading to the moon. Nope, heading to the Giant of Babel to do one of the various different kinds of grind fights. We have the D-Machine grind, where we encounter a alert type enemy that can summon monsters, that summons the D-Machine, which is a metal clockwork dragon that can do some fire attacks and pretty devastating physical attacks and some counters, but also yields a ton of experience points. So what you'll see runners do is you take advantage of that life glitch we mentioned earlier and summon a bunch of these D-Machines and gain a whole bunch of experiences. So Penguin8r is on his grind. We've seen him use this D-Machine grind to great effect in previous community races. Let's watch. SwimmyLionni picking up the Baron key in the sealed cave and Taking on Valvalis.
Ugh.
Taking that reset. Not worth it.
Gonna reconfigure his cane a little bit. I wonder what Swimmy's thinking right now.
He's committing.
Yeah, he is committing, but he's checking out his stats. I wonder what Swimmy's looking for specifically here. Is ordering the party a little bit. Party order matters greatly, especially when you're talking about the center slot. Center slot has higher accuracy and damage output, therefore. And when Valvalis is in her Tornado Girl form, it raises her evasion. When you have higher accuracy, you can get through that evasion and end up doing some damage. So maybe Swimmy is looking to see if he can get his Yang to do a little bit more damage than Kane with an Avenger Sword.
Definitely using his vast knowledge of the game's mechanics to his advantage here. Meanwhile, we're seeing Kirchin encountering the elements in the Vanilla D-Lunar spot. I believe this spot has 40,000 hit points and gives 100,000 experience points. Not a bad spot to be facing off in general.
Now, I don't know if you noticed this, but Kirchin's doing a little bit of a bounce strat here. The elements fight is a strange one because the elements change from form to form depending on the HP levels, but that form change is actually a counter when it's scripted. So, when you bounce spells off of walls and onto targets, it does not trigger a counter. So you can effectively run the first form of elements to 0 hit points with bounces and never have to deal with Rubicint, Valvalis, or Kainazu.
I'm sorry, what were those names again?
And Penguin8r is going into his grind fight.
And yes, this is the grind fight, hopefully. We're seeing a Quake go off against the Searcher and the Beamers, trying to get rid of those Beamers and get the Searcher to summon what we need. And it is a D machine. And we're going to basically see Penguin8r cast Weak a whole bunch on the D machines, take them out, curing up the Searcher like a champ, just helping him out.
Got to make sure to cure the Searcher because in order to summon the D machine, you have to bop the Searcher. And when you bop it, you're doing about 100 to 200 damage, probably at the levels you're at, which, if you do it enough times, can actually kill the Searcher before you want to. We can see there that was one kill, and then Kane had a life potion queued up, which gives it another kill. So that's 2 kills right there, which is 65k experience for each kill. That's going to add up to a lot of experience at the end of this fight.
Z-Man picking up his crystal and heading to the moon. Gonna see the kid and have to make a choice. Let's see what he does, folks. SwimmyLionni running into a little bit of trouble with Valvalis, but putting up a valiant fight against him. Using blink spells to great effect. And Kirchin taking down the elements. Gosh, look at all those experience points. We're going to see a whole ton more just above 2 on Penguin8r's screen when he finishes this D-Machine grind. Let's see what Z-Man does next.
Adamant.
Interesting. Very interesting.
So we have no hook, so the Rat Tail doesn't do a whole lot except for sit there and become a key item. But if the hook is found on the moon, it might be impetus for Kirchin to go back down to Earth, which would lead him to the right play.
Well, I, for one, hope that he finds the hook at Ogopogo's spot, passes up the Mega Sisters for now, and I don't blame him, honestly. That is not a friendly fight to fight. Oh, wait, did he take out the Mega Sisters? I could be wrong about that.
Yeah. Yeah, he had the Rune Axe. Rune Axe jump with Kane was doing 7,500.
Oh, okay. And yeah. I even said the Rune Axe thing, too. Look at me.
Did.
Z-Man picking up Cure 3s.
Ooh. SwimmyLionni killing Valvalis right at the last second there.
Well done, Swimmy. Fusoya at full power now.
Gonna take the treasure of the Baron Key. And might end up being down a little bit of a key item rabbit hole there with the Baron Key. if Swimmy decides to commit all in to this particular course. Kirchin in the Ogopogo spot has found the 3 Dark Imp fight. This is an interesting fight because there is no boss bit, no free lunch flag 1 is on right here, which means that they are vulnerable to just about everything, including instant death. And add the life glitch on top of that, and you get Buko experience for this fight.
Buko experience indeed, my friend. Meanwhile, penguin8r still in his grind fight, and Swimmy heading out of the sealed cave. We're going to see where he goes next, if he goes straight to Baron, or if he decides to go somewhere else. Oh, this is tense. Heading to the Sylph Cave. Oh my gosh. This could be the correct decision for Swimmy. I am literally on the edge of my seat. Well, not literally, but in the way that people say literally nowadays.
Swimmy might actually be back in this race.
And Z-Man heading into the grind fight.
Opting to do the D-Machine grind as well.
I don't believe that we've seen Sirens yet.
We have not seen Sirens this seed. If there are anywhere, they may be in Eblon Cave, but that's about it. And we can't see that because we have no hook. So this is the next best thing, because Z-Man is definitely in go mode as well.
Absolutely. Swimmy gonna get that vanilla pan from Sheila. Heading to Fabul, and Kirchin taking out the oh my. We do have a hook at Ogopogo.
Spot and gets the hook as a reward.
Gonna throw down a oof, nope, not even throwing down a save, just walking.
I think that what's going on here is that Kirchin might be walking to the Wyvern spot, where there is a save location just before the boss fight, and there he goes.
As well as the chance for a key item.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like Kirchin may be trying to full clear the moon.
penguin8r's considering ending the grind fight right now. And there it is. Oh, nope. Nope, I guess not. Gonna go weaken up
a few
a
more
little
D
bit
machines.
more. Yeah.
I mean, they're just machines, right? They don't have feeling.
So this is interesting. Z-Man has found a horseman encounter with his searchers. Has opted to just sally forth on this as well, instead of searching for the actual D-machines. How many key items does Z-Man have?
Z-Man has, let's do a quick count, 9 key items. Oof.
9.
That's no in German, friends. No in German.
That may not actually be the bang that Z-Man is trying to get for his buck. penguin8r ends the grind fight with 4,500 experience.
49 levels for Rydia. Rydia Bay getting beefed up. Not quite learning Nuke, though.
Oh, totally learned
no,
Nuke.
she totally learns Nuke. And Meteo. Oh my, I forgot what level she was at.
21 for Rosa. We got 22 for Kane and 23 for Palom.
And we got White on Rosa. A lovely spell.
All right. So penguin8r's done with his grind. Level 51 is looking at his agilities now. This interesting thing that penguin8r is deciding about. There is a little bit of an issue with agilities against Zeromus. Zeromus's agility is based on Cecil's agility. In a rolling factor of 14. There is a better way to describe that, but I can't come up with it at the moment. The factor of 14 matters because at 14, 28, and 42, any factor of 14, Zeromus's agility will actually be the lowest it possibly can be relative to the rest of your party. But when Cecil is not in your party, that equation defaults to the center slot. Whoop, penguin8r forgot to turn off encounters. Decides to take this fight. Gonna hourglass it up and go. A little extra experience is never gonna hurt anybody. Probably going to net somewhere in the vein of 100k, especially with that Mac Giant. Let's see. But the center slot being closer to 28 as possible is what Penguin8r is looking for here. And Kane, with 32 agility, is just a little bit above. Probably looking to get Kane to 33 agility, equip a Dwarf Axe, which lowers your agility down by 5, and that would get him to the 28 that he's looking for. At these levels, though, 32 is probably going to be A-okay. Full-powered Big Bangs are going to be able to be soaked by this particular party.
I'm very interested to see Penguin8r's Zemus fight strategy. And the Zemus fight is actually kind of exciting in Free Enterprise. If this is your first time seeing Final Fantasy IV Free Enterprise, there is a bit of a treat we have in store from you with the Z flag. The Z flag randomizes the sprite that Zemus appears as. Not his battle abilities or his AI script or anything like that. But it just brings you a different sprite from either a different Final Fantasy game or some other type of fandom altogether. We've seen all sorts of different things. Very recently, a loving treasure of our community, Scala Kitty, has added 150 over 150, I should say, new sprites to this rotation, and there have been reported to be as many as 250, maybe even 300 different forms that Zemus can take at the Z fight. And it'll be interesting to see who shows up today.
SwimmyLionni is now found the crystal, decided to track the pan instead of getting duped by the other boss tracks, and is
got rewarded
right
for
to the
that trouble. Heading right to the grind fight. Oh, man. And we could see Swimmy push ahead of Z-Man if Swimmy finds the D-Machine fight rather than the Centaurs. Or the Horsemen, excuse me.
Yeah, Z-Man might be in for a little bit of a shock when he takes a look at the experience accumulated from this fight.
How much experience do the Horsemen give?
I actually don't remember, but I think it's somewhere in the 30,000 range.
And finishing that grind fight, getting 160,000 experience, that has got to be a frustrating number to see there. Gonna, no doubt, try to go for another fight depending on the levels.
Perhaps. It's got to be frustrating when you've sunk that much time into a grind fight and you're only netting yourself 10 or 12 levels. It's about twice the amount of time you would spend with sirens on dragon eggs. Yeah, we can see that that's just not nearly enough. 35 level Rosa, 37 level Kane. That's not going to cut the mustard.
Cut the mustard?
Cut the mustard.
I like it.
I'm old.
I like it a lot. It's not old. It's fresh.
It's classic. It's classic.
Mustard on a sandwich. Meanwhile, we see Kirchin leaving the moon, having picked up the pink tail as the last key item on the moon, and heading into Fabul to turn in the rat tail and the pink tail. The pink tail, of course, just like in the vanilla game, giving you an adamant armor, the best armor in the game, with status resistances up the wazoo, defense up the wazoo, and plus 15 to all stats. It's just an all-around good thing to have, particularly in these flags where treasure can be hard to come by.
Absolutely. You basically are just putting on a giant tank.
Something that you can do in Final Fantasy Legend 2.
That's right, you can. Shoutouts to Saga 2.
Shoutouts to Saga 2. Shoutouts to Game Boys. And SwimmyLionni running into what looked like the grind fight, but also running from the battle, no doubt taking advantage of his technical knowledge of the game to find the grind fight itself.
Yeah, this
takes
is
a
right
back
here.
attack, and this is it. Meanwhile, Kirchin is turning in that pink tail, getting the adamant armor, turning in that rat tail, getting, I believe, the spoon knife.
Oh, Penguin8r just laid down his save.
Oh.
He's headed down the crystal path. We're about to see a Zeromus fight.
Oh, and this is going to be delightful. With 4 casters and 1 melee fighter, it's going to be a heck of a fireworks show, friends. A heck of a show. What are you most excited about for the Z fight, Muppets?
What I'm really most excited about is watching Penguin8r really dish out the damage with reflect strats. We haven't seen a whole lot of reflect strats in a Zeromus fight. up to this point, especially during the league qualifier races, where people really leaned on melee fighters and Bacchus Wines. Penguin8r's got Bacchus Wines, but has overpowered spells, Nuke and White. And I really am excited to see maybe an HP refill skip.
We could absolutely see that with the reflected spells not triggering counters. It's really anybody's situation here, friend. Penguin8r didn't do the Tower of Zot, correct?
I don't believe so, no.
Did we ever see which characters were up there?
It was I totally didn't see.
Me neither. It was apparently unimportant to our runners either, because everybody's rocking similar parties.
Mm-hmm. Dark Knight Cecil and Tella is what we're being told in chat.
Oh my. Thank you, chat. Meanwhile, Penguin8r heading into the Zemus fight. I do want to note that Swimmy has decided to keep Porum for his grind against the D machines. I'm not sure if he headed up to the moon or not, but just wanted to note that Swimmy has Porum, whereas Z-Man has Palom.
Yeah, I don't think Swimmy has actually gone on the moon as of yet. I think Swimmy's trajectory is going to take him from the fight straight to the moon, straight to Zeromus.
Let's see who this is. Who we got today? Oh my gosh. It's Brainmus. It is the mother brain of all Zeromus sprites. No doubt going to use that Big Bang Hyper Beam.
All right, and here we go. Reflect is on, and here come the bounces.
And I believe that was a Star Veil, correct?
That was a Star Veil that Kane took right there.
And that is going to last longer than the average, what's the word I'm looking for here?
Longer than the average
spell. Smarter than the average bear, that's right. And Fusoya throwing down a Silk Web to slow down Brainmus, taking a nuke reflect to the reflected character. Oh my gosh.
The fortune.
Brainmus showing a serious lack of brains in who she's targeting. And those reflected spells just crushing this creature. Kirchin heading up the Tower of Zot, clearing out some key item locations, searching for that crystal.
So this first Big Bang is going to be nerfed. Half power Big Bang. Drew the counter quite easily. See what Penguin8r does in response to this. It doesn't look like Penguin8r's too worried about HP levels right now. Everyone's sitting at 17, 12, 10, 15, and 2200. Just really going to town with those Nuke and White spells. This might actually be a really quick fight.
Agreed. All that Penguin8r really needs to do is 65,000 damage, and he is dropping 7, 8, 9,000 damage with those white spells, those nukes. Fusoya, Palom, Rydia, and Rosa are all throwing end game level spells at Zeromus, reflecting them off of Kane. Kane must be so scared behind his magical shield.
I wonder what that looks like. You just see
be
white
terrifying.
and orange fire writhing in front of you and shooting off into the distance. He's laying down a Cure 3.
And we do see that little shake from Brainmus, and another nuke go off. She's taking quite a few of those nukes. And we see the flash.
Boom!
GG to Penguin8r. Oh
That
my
is a
gosh.
dot done.
That is quite the dot dome indeed. Let's see if we can get Penguin8r in here for an interview. GG to you, Penguin. That was a stellar fight. Nailbiter right up until the end with that Cure 3 on Rosa and the shake right before that last nuke. And the kid just taking it home. Beautiful.
Yeah, that shake before the second Big Bang actually had me a little bit worried. Didn't know that Penguin8r had done enough damage to Zeromus in order to get Zeromus down before that second Big Bang, but turned out for the best.
Penguin8r in his first match, getting a cool 4 points with his first place finish and an official SRL time of 1 hour, 10 minutes, and 52 seconds. An amazing time for these flags indeed.
I'm trying to get Penguin8r in here right now.
Brain Miss asserting that she will not perish as long as there is evil in the hearts of people. Puff puff. Graham.
Penguin8r.
Penguin8r.
Congratulations on your blue ribbon.
Thank you.
G to you, Penguin8r. G.
So Penguin8r, you had a few choices that you made here that really set you up for this reflect strat on Zeromus. Can you tell me a little bit about why you made the party choices that you made as you made them?
Well, anytime I get early mages, I'm thinking about going for reflex strats. And we had, Fusoya and I think Rosa really early on. And then just kind of developed from there. 2, it's iffy, but once I saw Palom and Rydia, I knew I was going for that. And I wasn't too impressed with any of the fighters I found. Didn't find great weapons for anyone. So figured mages would be the most effective.
Yeah, I saw that you dismissed Yang for Palom and immediately pieced out back to Earth after that. And then you took Rydia over Porum. Rydia over Porum was an interesting one. Can you tell me why you did that? Porum's a white mage and a potential great healer.
Well, I already had Rosa as the white mage, and black mages are a bit better just because Nuke has a faster cast time. So went for Rydia, and I had I think a Tiara and Dragon Whip also for her, so more options for her.
Interesting. Yeah. Well, I thank you for bringing my favorite character and using her to great effect. I know you did it for me. I'm just kidding.
So when you're going into that grind fight, the classic D-Machine grind fight, the No 64 grind fight, when you're choosing how to set up your grind fights and stuff, what factors into your choices when it comes to which grind fight to take? I see you had the Luca key, you had Lunar Access. Why do the D-Machine grind?
I think it's fastest.
Okay, I mean, that's pretty cut and dried, absolutely.
Because being that I had the crystal, I didn't need to fight more bosses. I know Siren, so I couldn't do the egg grind. And Moon, okay, but not having the key, I think it's not as good. And I also wasn't as comfortable with the Moon bosses as I would have liked to be. So kind of left me with D-Machine, which is also probably the fastest.
Yeah. Well, you definitely wrecked that particular grind fight. I think you took 9 kills or something like that. 9 kills and 9 dupes.
I saw a couple double dupes go off.
18 or 19 was the count. Counting doubling, tripling.
Yeah.
Which is about the standard for No 64, actually, which is what I judge by to get white. I actually was a little short on Palom, so I had to do a few more fights. In retrospect, I think I could have been fine without that and just maybe been a little faster just to go without Palom having nuke, but not a big difference.
I saw you checking Kane's agility there too, and when he was at 32, I saw you take a couple of more fights to get him up to 33 with that Dwarf Axe.
So he actually already had Dwarf Axe when you saw the 32. So that was not exact. The fights were just to get Palom nuke.
And I'm not sure. I'm not sure what would have happened if you had taken Palom without nuke there, because it was Palom dropping a nuke down right at the last second there before that second big bang that really took out Mother Brain. It was really a lovely fight to watch. I was on the edge of my seat during the end there because I was like, is he gonna make it? Is he gonna make it to that 65,000? And the kid came through.
Yeah, I think Rydia would have been fine as the main person without Palom, just because she got over leveled from being low level to start with, so that little slingshot, and she had like Tiara and dragging him up to be fast.
Very true.
She was kitted to the T, so I think she could have carried without Palom.
Well, any final thoughts, Penguin8r?
As always, thanks to both of you for commentary. Thank you to Ginger for tracking, and thanks to Scala for restreaming.
Absolutely. GG's Penguin8r. That was a good, clean run. Great examples, a lot of different things to highlight. It was a real pleasure to watch. Well done.
All right, thank you.
And as we come back, we see SwimmyLionni in the Zeromus fight. So Swimmy has actually overtaken Zman because of that grind fight. Z-Man's lost a little bit of time. Z-Man is done with his grind fight and is now leaving the giant to go into the lunar subterrane. But Swimmy's already in the Z fight.
And we see Kirchin heading out of the sealed cave, taking down Valvalis. He's got to be wondering, where is that crystal? What have I missed? And we see in Reflect going up on Porum over on Swimmy's screen during the Z fight.
Ooh, you see that Kane's at 55 hit points right now.
A terrifying HP to be
like,
at with that sap status.
Yeah, it's looking like he's going Avenger, a little Avenger hype there. He's going to do a direct Cure 4 on Kane. Cure 4, single target, is an automatic full heal. Could have said that better. Automatic full heal to whomever you target.
Couldn't have said
doesn't
that
matter what
better
your
myself.
So we're seeing one of my favorite things in Swimmy's stream right now is hybrid bounce strats. It's got two big-time fighters in Kane and Yang. Bacchus dealing damage, and then we've got bounces. We saw a nuke bounce from Fu for a little bit of reflect damage, a little added pop. And then we see Swimmy is actually running a bit of a safety strat here, having two white mages. Rosa can crank out the damage with white, but it looks like it's just going to be reflect right now.
Definitely an interesting hybrid strategy for sure. Meanwhile, we have Z-Man heading down into the depths of the lunar subterrane for his Z-fight. And Kirchin heading to Baron. Gonna see those Baron bosses, maybe pick up some treasure, and looking for that crystal.
There's that white bounce. It's so satisfying when white goes off.
I love the sound of it. It's almost as satisfying as Virus.
It is really satisfying as Virus. All right, so this might be a full-powered Big Bang that Swimmy's going to soak right there, and it is. It takes Porum out right away. I think we may see Swimmy audible to just straight Bacchus strats, Bacchus and Cure strats with Big Bang nerfs, just because the hit points are up there, but they're not quite at levels where you could soak two Big Bangs in a row without nerfing them.
Agreed. We might see Porum continue to take a nap over there, getting dragged along the core of the moon.
We have a question in chat. RPG Mel asks, where was the pan? The pan was actually vanilla. The pan was with Sheila up in Fabul.
Yang's
Talk to Yang, get
wife.
the pan. Hit Yang with the pan, get the crystal.
Sheila's been hiding things from us.
Sheila's always holding out.
Kirchin fighting against Golbez. Meanwhile, Z-Man heading into that fight with Zeromus. Gonna find Brainmus. No doubt be delighted to see Mother Brain. I always am.
So Fu's out of magic power right now, which means that Swimmy's going to dismiss his command. It's really just going to be go with cranking out the damage with Kane and Yang, healing with Rosa. It's kind of all in on this particular strat. And now we see down in Z-Man's stream here, the Z-Man's got a few more levels than Swimmy does. I don't know if it's enough to overtake Swimmy in this fight, but we'll find out.
Z-Man also has the added benefit of having Nuke Palom. And is going straight for that immediate nuke on Zeromus. Gonna trigger that counter and that first nerf in the one fell swoop. The first swing. I tried to say both of those at the same time, and they kind of crashed into each other.
The first fell swing.
The first fell swoop.
Now, the trouble with trying to cast a spell on Zeromus as he's transforming is, as you can see, that nuke spell fizzled. It's because when Zeromus transforms, it's a completely different target. And so the existing target that Palom had went bye-bye, and there was nowhere for that nuke to go. So I had to use a backup strat and go Silk Web.
Ooh, and Kirchin finding the entire Fabul Gauntlet masquerading as the King of
the
Baron.
whole gauntlet. Swimmy's in medio phase up there. Just
Oh.
about done.
And we're seeing Kane cranking out those damages. Yang doing work, and we see the flash. GG to
Boom.
you, Swimmy. Taking down that mother brain.
That's a dot done with an official SRL time of 1:22. GG's to SwimmyLionni for a second place finish. Strong
GG,
finish, especially
SwimmyLionni.
with all of the different paths that SwimmyLionni could have taken.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we see Fusoya doing a bit of celebrating for Swimmy on that second place finish. A very, very strong finish. And let's see if we can get Swimmy in here for an interview.
Meanwhile, we got Z-Man in the Z fight.
Z-Man and the Z fight.
I
That's
really
good.
like that.
I like that a lot. I like the way you think. I like the cut of your jib. I like the cut of his hair.
Hey, SwimmyLionni, GG's.
Hey there, thank you very much.
Well done. Well done. Congratulations on your second place finish.
Thanks, I'm really happy with it, considering the group of racers I was up against.
You played incredibly well, sir. I have a question for you.
Yes.
What were you thinking right before you went to Sylph? You had the Darkness Crystal, you had Moon Access, you found Valvalis, you took her out, you could have gone to Baron, you decided to go to Sylph instead. What was going through your head?
I was trying to completely clear the underworld as efficiently as I could. It did not work out. I was trying to find the pan. And then, but before I went topside, I was hoping to find the pan down there. When I didn't find the pan, I was like, okay, I'll talk to Young, I'll deal with Sheila, then I'll go to Baron, then I'll do Odin, then I'll go to the moon. That was my plan. And then, of course, there was the vanilla pan location, and I'd start slapping myself. But, I mean, it got me to 10 key items. I got my grind done like it was nothing.
It was a very fast grind.
And, like, I placed well, so I really can't complain.
Yeah, you were actually, I believe, the first runner of all of the runners to go to Zot early, which netted you an Avenger. In what ways did that help your run here?
I love the Avenger. It's Kane's best weapon.
Yeah, how can you not?
There were some situations where I wasn't able to totally take advantage of it, like Valvalis. Back having it on there got me killed. Or not quite killed, I just gave up because I knew it wasn't going to happen. But that fight against Dark Elf in the Leviathan spot with Total Breeze, it might have looked like I was in danger, but I think everyone
It looked rough, but
I think
it
everyone
happened really
the
fast.
entire
which
time.
is
But
what
I know his moveset really well. I'm not, it was fine. And the Avenger got me through that. Of course, it turned out to be completely unnecessary.
I wanted to take a moment and commend you on your the breadth of your knowledge in the game. You definitely showed it off in a number of different places. And we're seeing Wyvern in the Odin spot. 999ing.
Oh no!
Kirchin.
That's
gotta
a
smart.
horrible spot for.
So speaking of that spot, Swimmy, when you picked up the Baron key, were you at all tempted to go up there before doing anything else?
No. My whole plan was clear underground, and I wasn't going to go topside without talking to Young, just in case Pan was in that vanilla location. Or, of course, Sheila just had the crystal right there. It's a pretty quick check. No, the plan was clear the underground as much as I could, and then I was going to do Baron then Odin, and I'm really glad I didn't.
I like how you had your strategy in mind and you stuck to it, and it paid off for you. That kind of clear-headedness, not giving into the temptations of being in a race, really paid off for you today.
Absolutely.
That's what a lot of the that's what a lot of runners say, is you pick a path and you commit to it. I think I tried a few new strategies that I haven't really tested out very well in this run, like checking every single shop immediately, which I have never really done in a race before.
Do you feel like that helped your run?
It helps. It really helps if you run into bosses where you need hourglasses or star veils. It really helps if you have a hook seed, because if you already have those hourglasses ready, you can blaze through. But none of that was the case in this run, so no, not really. I don't think it hurt me much, but it was just something different that I was trying.
Any final thoughts on this seed, Swimmy?
No, I'm actually gonna tune in and watch the other racers now. It's pretty close to my bedtime. I'm happy I managed to finish so quickly. And with these flags, I'm always happy with a sub 130. If I finish sub 130, I feel like I played well, even if I got last place.
Absolutely. Well, you ran it clean, you ran it well, and you showed off a lot of great knowledge on this randomizer. So thank you once again for the race and the run, and congratulations on a strong finish.
Thanks a lot. Thanks for commenting, everyone.
Thank you. GG.
Thanks. Later.
Bye. Oh, that was nice.
That was nice.
And we're seeing Z-Man nuking Mother Brain. That's also nice. Mother Brain yelling at you to take your star veils this whole time. It was her all along. Well, that sure
Z-Man's
bit her
been in this
the
fight
spine.
Z-Man's been in this fight an awful long time.
I have noticed that. What? And we see Kirchin clearing out Dwarf Castle, getting the Legend Sword, and we see
Shake,
the
rattle,
flash.
and roll.
GG, Z-Man. You did it, Z-Man. You saved the planet. A good question in chat also, while we're waiting for Z-Man to potentially come in for an interview. Avenger, how is it glitched? The Avenger sword does some strange things. If you equip it... Now, I'm a little fuzzy on the mechanics here, so I may be relying on Muppets to help me out.
Oh, don't rely on me. I have no idea how this thing is coded.
We have no idea. It's weird. It, takes on the attack power of, weapons that you start the battle with and stuff. It, you could switch it out, and gain the elemental effects of weapons that you started the battle with. You switch into it mid-battle. It's strange.
It's wonky. It's super, super wonky.
Penguin8r throwing in the shade.
It is a stretch to say that the Avenger is coded. Well put.
Z-Man, GG to you, sir.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
How did you feel about your seed?
For the most part, I felt pretty good about it. There's a few places I could have saved some time here and there. Running the pan back sooner probably would have put me in go mode sooner. But then again, if I run the pan back, I never go to the tower to get the darkness crystal. So, kind of 6 of one, half a dozen of the other there. Although I do wish I had checked my inventory before Zeromus to find that I was maxed out and couldn't put the Avenger on Kane. That was that was an oops. That was definitely an oops.
Oof. I know that game. I've done that. Oof.
So Z-Man, right at the top of the stream, when you saw Fu as your reward for the Sand Ruby, you went right after the demist boss location. And that ultimately paid off for you. Can you tell me a little bit about how you approach a seed that has Fusoya in it, as opposed to a I guess, normal one?
Well, with these flags, getting Fu early spells is the best thing ever. And combine that with, if I can get those 2 boss spots out of the way, the Mist Dragon and the Octomon spot out of the way, that's 2 fewer boss spots I have to do later in the game, right? Because those are pretty easy boss spots, even early in the game. And if I can get a level 2 or a level 3 or a virus or a quake super early, well, that makes the beginning game super simple. And I was lucky enough to get, I think it was Fire 2 or Lightning 2 early, so that gave me Antlion, that gave me Fabul, that gave me Baron, just boom, boom, boom. And then
it gave you our hearts.
and then from there, it's like, all right, where do I go from there? So yeah, I think I'm surprised more people don't do that, because the Mist Dragon, it's not even 1,000 HP. You can.
It's 465.
Right, exactly. 460. Yeah, okay, there you go. See, so it's not even that much.
Yep.
So it's it's 2 jumps from Kane and done. Especially when I had the wind spear. So to me, it only made sense if I can get Fu some spells early. Then it makes the early game that much easier.
Totally. Let's fast forward to the Giant of Babel and the grind fight. You encountered the alerts that summons Horseman, and
yes,
you decided to grind on Horseman. Can you tell me a little bit about why you chose that particular grind fight to start with?
Sure, absolutely. My main thing was I needed levels, and I needed levels, period. And the Horseman's attack, it can put somebody down, but it's not the multi-target fire, which can really wreck you if it's timed incorrectly. So I'm like, all right, let's get some levels here on the Horseman, and then we'll finish off with the D-Machine grind. If I had gotten D-Machines there, it's not like I would have run, I just would have been even more careful. But it's like, all right, Horseman, that's a fine grind. Do I get as much experience? No, but I get some levels to make tackling the D-Machine a little earlier next time.
What are the things that you're looking for out of those levels before the D-Machine grind?
HP primarily, just to make sure that I can, withstand if the D-Machine happens to attack, or if I get out of sequence, when somebody stupidly attacks before Fusoya gets a weekend. I've seen that happen.
Oh yes, I've done it.
That it doesn't come.
Certainly happens.
That it just completely doesn't go to hell real quick. So, for that, it's just I'm looking for HP, and then for the D-Machine, I pretty much went until I was out of life potions, or I had like 1 or 2 left, and I was fine leveled up until then.
Yeah, and now let's fast forward to the end, the Zeromus fight. When you're setting up for a Zeromus fight, with the party that you had, tell me a little bit about what your initial approach is, what your plan is to knock down Mother Brainmus.
Step 1, find an agility anchor. So when I was looking through my roster, I noticed that Palom and Rosa both had agility 25. Well, I had a ninja helm on me. All right,
nice.
Slap a ninja helm. I'd slap that on Palom. Agility 28. All right, life's good there. All right, so now we're gonna set up for Zeromus. You use the crystal. I slowed Mother Brainmus twice just to really make sure I can get Yang and I can get Kane just wailing on her, because I didn't have great equipment for either one of those two. So the more attacks they could do, the more Mother Brain's HP would get whittled down. And then for Palom, it's just, all right, Palom, you're on nuke duty, and Fusoya and Rosa were on heal duty until Fu turned into Uncle Mop, and then I just went with the 4-man team.
Right. Where did you find the super missiles to crack Mother Brainmus's tank? I didn't see those anywhere.
Nuke?
I was hoping you'd say that. I was really hoping you'd say that.
And nuke is a great thing for blowing up pretty much anything.
It's quite
delightful. It goes through just about anything. Well, any final thoughts on this seed, Z-Man?
Pretty straightforward. I'm pleased with the 3rd place finish. I wish I probably could have finished 2nd, because it's going to be super tight for me to get into the top 20 now. I mean, having 5 points after 3 races, that I'm going to need a real good place in my last race. But no, it was a good seed. Where's Kirchin at?
Kirchin has found the crystal and is on his way down the lunar subterranean, fighting a couple of King Ryus to grind up the last couple levels that he needs, and then is about to take out Z.
King Ryus, did I miss Sirens?
I think he found them.
They had to have been Eblon then. I think, because I checked everywhere else. I didn't think I saw Sirens.
Sirens had to have been Eblon, although I don't think that Kirchin used a siren. Oh no, Siren had found there was a siren early in Baron.
Yes.
In the not the waterway, but the
waterfall area. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And this must be the usage of that.
Okay. Well, that's fair. Cool. But no, I found pretty straightforward seed. This is 2 out of 3 seeds that I have played in the round of 32, where you had to go to the Sylph to get back to Sheila with the pan, and then Sheila had the crystal returning the pan. That's twice out of 3 times. I'd really like to know the odds on that.
Well, the odds of anything happening, I've found, are 50-50, no matter what the numbers actually say.
Very good point.
Yeah. Well run, Z-Man, and thank you very much. Sub 130 is always good with flags like these, especially with a seed that can jerk you around like this. So well done.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Man.
And thank
Very
you for
well
the
played.
thank you for the commentary. Thank you for the tracking and Scala. Thank you for restreaming. Really much appreciated. Thank you so much.
I do want to take a moment and shout out our tracker, Ginger Damas, and our restreamer, Scala Kitty. Thank you both for doing what you're doing. We really appreciate it.
Been on point all race.
Crushing it.
Well, and Kirchin is now headed down to Zeromus for his final fight. 137.37 is not such a bad time to be entering the Zeromus fight in, especially with these flags. So that'll just show you the stiff competition that exists in this league.
Absolutely. And Kirchin equipping that white spear, I believe it was, and gonna take out Zeromus. And we might be seeing the Avenger glitch in play here, for those of you in chat asking about it.
God, I hope not.
Heh.
There we go. Kirchin going into the Z fight right now. Rosa's got some decent hit points, 22-31. A really, really bad Big Bang roll will fell her in one shot if it's unnerfed, but it's not very likely.
Not very likely indeed. The kid, Palom, doesn't have nuke as far as I can tell. That double King RU battle got him up to Meteo, but not the nuke spell that he learns at level 52. That's just how amazing a Black Wizard he is. It's just that much of a genius. Learns Meteo before he learns nuke.
He's got it all figured out.
He thinks he does, at least.
Hey, he's got it all figured out before he has it figured out.
Nice. Oh, and we see Starveil's going up. We're gonna see some reflect strats. Oh,
maybe.
Nope. Throwing a silk web. Slowing Brainmus down. And we might be seeing Ooh.
That's a rough target.
Yeah, absolutely. Particularly at this point in the fight before that first Big Bang. Thankfully, that first nuke cracking Mother Brain's shell was a reflected one. We do see the shake. Boxes going off. It looks like Kirchin accepting that Palom is likely going to fall here. Reflecting a white.
Wow, just going right for it. And there's Big Bang. It's probably going to take Palom right out.
I'd be surprised if Palom survived here, although I'm rooting for him. I gotta say. Oh, yeah. There's his little anime cloud.
Not
side.
such a genius after all.
Well, maybe he should have studied more. He would have learned nuke faster. Oh man, vicious, vicious over here in the commentary. And we're seeing full nuke and white reflect strats with Zerch fighters, a pure hybrid 4-man Z fight going on right now. It's likely that we'll see.
I love the hybrid bounce strats. I love them. I love it.
I do too.
Two fighters in the front, 2 mages in the back, and bouncing away.
2 fighters in the front, 2 mages in the back sounds lewd. Ooh, and we're seeing Fusoya nerf the shake with a silk web. I'm gonna take a nuke counter here. Hopefully. Absolutely.
Okay, Yang takes a nuke, 1556.
Not a terrible target for that nuke, I gotta say.
Okay.
Here it comes.
I don't know that that's nerfed. I think that might have been a bit early.
Nope.
Oh!
Got the nerf through. Excellent.
Got it.
And with these reflect strats, we could be seeing a refill skip with these high damage counts.
Is Kirchin just going for it?
It's possible that Kirchin is just going for it. I mean, Brainmus is pretty slow. Nope, we see the Cure 4 go down. Ooh, Rosa does not have the ability to be healed right now, and that Cure 4 did not cure quite a bit.
That Cure 4 was more like a Cure Lame.
Nice. Nice. I like where your head's at, kiddo. More like
What's it
cure
for?
butts. Ooh, and it looks like this big bag is gonna take Rosa out.
I think he's ready for it, though.
Yeah, he's ready. He's ready with that life potion.
Well, it may happen and it may... Oh, okay, there's the big
Yeah,
bag.
there it is. There it is.
Yeah. I didn't know if we were going to get the HP refill tip there.
That would have been a great time for it, honestly.
Oh my god, yeah.
But we do see the life potion go off right away, so we shouldn't be losing too much time here. Zerker's
no
still
must
going
not
at it. Oh, there's the black hole.
Now, Black Hole's going to affect Yang, and it's going to affect anything else like Slow that's on, but it's not going to affect Kane. The Avenger Sword, he's just going to keep wailing away. Kane has no chill.
Ooh, that nuke is not
Dirty nuke.
greatly targeted. Ooh, and we do see a mop on the screen. I used to think of him as an egg, honestly. He looks like
Yeah,
a
me
sunny
too.
side up egg to
Me
me.
too.
I get the mop thing, but he will always be an egg. To me, in this commentator's opinion.
It looks like Kirchin is abandonning bounce strats at this point and just going straight Bacchus heal, Bacchus heal. So
Not
this fight is
Indian.
probably in good hands here.
Agreed. And chat throwing down some silliness, but that Cure 4 only cured 3 of your guys. I love it.
And we're in
RPG
media
name.
phase already.
Ooh, medio phase, delightful. And it's only hitting Yang. It looks like this one's in the bag, folks. There it is.
Whoa.
There's the flash. GG to you, Kirchin, with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 43 minutes, and 51 seconds. You saved the planet, and you destroyed Mother Brain Miss.
Shake, rattle, and roll. Kirchin's done, and we'll see if Kirchin can get in for a quick interview here.
Absolutely. In the meantime, I want to thank all of our runners again for running this race. I want to thank Boardface and Rivers McCown, the two principal forces behind the Final Fantasy IV Free Enterprise Randomizer. And of course, I want to thank our lovely tracker, Ginger Damus, and our lovely restreamer, Scala Kitty. Hello, Kirchin. GG to you, sir.
GG. Sheila the whole time.
Sheila the whole time, man.
Sheila the whole time.
I'm not gonna lie, I was wishing it was behind that Wyvern at Odin.
Scala Kitty. Hello, Kirchin.
Let everyone sit in this.
Yeah. So, you took a bit of a divergent path there. In fact, everyone really took divergent paths in the center of this seed. But you ended up going for a Baron Key, and even before that, going to the moon. Can you tell us a little bit about what you were thinking when you dove moon so fast?
Yeah, sure. Basically, once I get a couple star veils, like Blink Spell, Fu had some good damage going out. There's a lot of bosses I can kill pretty easily there and cut down and having to grind later. And I remember I was not quite at 10, but I was close. So I was hoping if I could get a couple key items out there, get the double experience, and then, kill a couple more moon bosses, then maybe I'd get lucky, get a crystal, and get the levels to kill Zeromus all at once.
Absolutely.
But,
Absolutely.
nothing. The rat tail gave me hope.
So when you're thinking about grinding for this Zeromus fight, you got your final party, you got your healer, you got your fighters, you got some nuke slingers. What are you looking for in a grind fight at that point? And tell us why you ultimately chose what you did.
I kind of, whenever I can, I like to grind bosses instead. That's why I dove the moon so quickly, as I mentioned before. If I get the levels from that and have a shot at key items, it's two birds with one stone. At the end, I had one siren and one hourglass, so I was able to get the dragons out. So I was hoping to get nuke for Palom and white for Rosa to get electro reflect damage, because Yang just wasn't hitting that hard this seed, and I didn't really want to go, D machine grind. I didn't find sirens anywhere. Were they in Eblon?
It seems like they were.
Nobody dove Elblon.
Okay.
Yeah. If they were anywhere, they were there, but nobody had siren. in this seed.
I got you. Yeah, my last 4 or 5 seeds all were hook seeds, so I got really used to that. So
Right.
when I saw that, I didn't know what to do with myself.
Yeah. When you're routing in the opening, and you get the Sand Ruby, you get Fusoya. Tell me a little bit about why you choose the route that you do, and how the presence of Fusoya changes your route.
Really, for Fu, I'm just looking for a damage spell to get me through the beginning of the game. So as soon as I saw I got Fire 2 pretty early on, I figured I didn't have to go out of my way to grind bosses for a little while. I really want Virus or Quake, which he didn't get till really late. And honestly, I was thinking Ordeals, but I figured everyone was doing that play since Fu was kind of thrown at us. So I specifically went against it just to kind of... I figured if I didn't do Ordeals and lost the match, well, that was the gamble.
You know, what's funny is nobody did Ordeals.
No one went to Ordeals. It was insane. By insane, I mean fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that Dark Knight Cecil late in the game. I'm like, oh yeah, I never did that, did I? I hope I didn't have to.
Honestly, I also forgot about Ordeals up until you started talking about it just now, because we all just kind of ignored it.
Yeah, I knew it was there, but I hate it. I hate going there. I try to never go there.
No.
So
let's flash forward a little bit. You've just cleared out the lunar subterrane, or as much of it as you did. What prompted you to go back to Earth?
There's really nothing left to do up there, honestly. I kind of cleared all of it. I was a little happy about the rat tail and pink tail. I was hoping I don't think too many people have dove moon that early, so I was hoping rat tail was going to lead to something good. But I forget what it was. I just remember being disappointed. And I remember I think the Luca key was from the Asura spot, and I figured most people would know about on that one. So I kind of figured maybe that was the next best, guess to kind of stay in the game. And that was the worst Dark Elf I've ever seen. Like, I've never had Fu on me, but the Piggy himself, that took forever.
Yeah, I mean, the Leviathan spot is super, super fast anyway, but then when he changes and he just starts wailing on you, there's very little you can do. It's a good thing you had an hourglass to throw at him.
I figured he was going to change a lot sooner, so it wasn't that big of a gamble, but, like 5 minutes of just spamming all the 2 spells and piggying everyone that does damage, it was a nightmare.
Yeah. So, any last thoughts about this particular seed, Kirchin?
No, it was a fun one. Honestly, I was a little disappointed Sheila gave me the crystal. After a while, I was just hoping 17-17. I figure close it out right, but...
I love that attitude.
Yeah, gotta go to Z sometime, right?
Well, I want to actually give you a particular shout out for just finishing out. I always appreciate it when every runner finishes, no matter what place they're in, especially when you're running as well as you are. It's a real pleasure to see you run as well as everybody else, and it's always good to see a finish out of somebody who runs real solid. So thank you very much for that.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
No problem. Thank you. I was a little sloppy on the run, but overall I thought it went okay. Just a couple missed opportunities.
Yeah, I hear you. Alexa, anything?
I can only echo all the accolades that you throw at Kirchin. Really, just like I also need to commend you for finishing out the run. And you played well, and you followed the breadcrumbs, and sometimes they lead to a hungry witch.
Yeah.
Or a hungry wyvern at Odin.
I was tempted to try him, though. I was
bet.
considering. If I had a cursed ring, I would have taken another shot.
If I were in your position, I might have rage attempted that a couple of times, actually.
Yeah.
All right. Well, have a good night, Kirchin. Good run, and I look forward to seeing what you do next.
Yep, definitely. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Well, Alexa, what a great seed. What a great seed. This seed really had everything. It had D-Machine grind. It had a vast divergence in routes. It had reflect strats. It had berserk strats. It had it all. This seed had it all.
It had Rydia. It had adult Rydia even.
It did. It even had Rydia. It had your favorite.
And you know what? It also had you on commentary with me.
It didn't just have me, Alexa. It didn't just have me. It had you. And Scala Kitty and Ginger Damas. Big shout out to that team right there, Ginger Damas, Scala Kitty.
100%.
On point the whole time. On point
just
the whole
crushing
time.
it. Really, just making things happen behind the scenes and making our jobs a lot easier. Thank you so much, and thank you again to RPG Limit Break for having us, and to everybody involved behind the scenes. Thanks to our runners, and thanks to all of you for tuning in.
Absolutely. I don't have anything else.
Muppetsinspace. Any final words from you?
Bursk
energy drink. Everybody gets one. Drink Bursk.
Thank you very much, guys. Stay tuned on the RPG Limit Break for future free enterprise round of 32 seeds. They're all over the place. If you want, type in a little exclamation point FF4FE for an explanation of what's going on, and you can see the actual schedule for the Free Enterprise League of 32 down in the explanations text box below the stream that you're watching. So if you want to watch more, that's the way to do it.
Thanks again for having us. Have a lovely night.
Thank you very much, guys. Have a good night, everybody.